Hey guys, in this video I'm going to go over basic deck building and the rules that govern which cards you can put into a deck. So in the main menu here, you go to Cards, you click on the Deck Builder, and you click New Deck, and then the first thing you do is you select which faction you want to make the deck for. I'll choose Northern Realms. Secondly, you have to choose which leader you want to use. In this case, I'll pick Foltest. He's a good general purpose leader. And then you're sent into the deck builder. Now before we start throwing cards into our deck, there's a few things that you need to know about the cards you can actually put into a deck. First of all, a deck needs to have between 25 and 40 cards. You can see over here in the corner it says min 25, max 40. And there's also 3 different categories of cards that divide them into different power levels. You can see at the side here there's a counter for bronze cards, silver cards, and gold cards. So those are the 3 different power levels of cards you can put into your deck, and there are some limitations on how many you can use. As you can see here, the gold card says max copies 1, and then it says 0 out of 4. This means you can only ever have 1 copy of a given gold card in your deck, and you can have at most 4 gold cards in your entire deck. Silver cards is the same story. You can only have 1 copy of any given silver card, but you can have 6 silver cards in your deck. For bronzes, you can actually have 3 copies of the same bronze card in your deck, and there is no limit on the number of bronze cards you have in your deck, as long as your deck conforms to the basic rule of having between 25 and 40 total cards. So when you first go into the deck builder like this, you can filter your cards by type. So right now it's showing me all the Northern Realms cards I can possibly use, but I can click the arrow here and, for instance, only look at my gold cards. The gold cards are usually the strongest cards in your deck, and they can largely determine the types of things your deck is trying to do, so it can be a good starting place to put your gold cards in first, and then work your way down to silver cards and then bronze cards last. So you can just look at your cards, and if you click on a card and then place it on your deck, that card is put into your deck, and you just keep doing that until you've used up all your slots. I'm not putting too much thought into this for explanatory purposes, but as you can see now, I've already filled up all 4 of my gold slots, and I'm unable to put in any more. If I try to click and put in another one, the game's telling me I can't have more than 4 gold cards. So I'd either have to take one out if I wanted a different one, or I just have to stick with what I've got here. And then I could go do the same for silver cards. I'd put in 6. I'll just select 6 kind of random ones for now. I can't put in more than 6. And then I would go to bronze cards and fill out the rest of my deck with whatever bronze units or spells I want to use that go well with the silvers and golds I picked. Now there is no distinction between units and special cards in terms of building your deck. So you could put in all special cards even if you wanted to, or all unit cards. In general, pretty much every deck will at least have some unit cards, because you do need to put some strength on your own side of the board to win rounds. Only very control-heavy decks that try to interrupt the opponent for most of the game will consist of majority special cards. For the most part, most of the cards in your deck will probably be unit cards. That's about all there is to say about basic deck building in this video, but I will say that when you first start Gwent, you get a basic deck for every single faction. So you don't actually have to immediately build a deck to play the game. You will start with a basic deck, 1 for each faction, and each basic deck actually does include 4 gold cards and 6 silver cards. So you're not immediately way behind everyone else, because you do have a full deck that does have 4 golds and 6 silvers, although you usually will want to start creating some new cards and opening some card packs in order to flesh out your deck and get cards that work better together. So in the next video, I'll be going over rewards you can earn in the game, the card shop, and how you can go about getting more cards to supplement the ones that you start with. So see you then.